I think creating stuff, if you will, is essential, and everyone needs to do that as part of their existence. I defined myself as an artist long before I made a living as an artist. I'm looking for raw steel to integrate into sculpture, into what I call redeemed objects. And so the basic materials are here, forms and shapes that I will weld into a finished sculpture.
Stephen Dirks, a Tucson sculptor, recovers what's called mild steel from the scrap heap at Ellis Metals and gives the remnants of industry a new and different function. Steve's sculpture is linked to the philosophy of artist Marcel Duchamp, who proposed that the spiritual and economic value of a work of art is entirely constructed by social perception. Famous for Cubist painting, Duchamp stunned the art world in 1917 when he first presented a manufactured object, a urinal, as art. Unlike Duchamp, Dirks believes that the created object has an expressive value imbued by the maker, and he reassembles the found metal with an abstract expressionist consideration for form, selecting and arranging the steel in terms of color, shape, space, and narrative.
I select a lot of circles, a lot of structural elements, and some things that have like an artifact quality, something that's been damaged or broken or torn apart or cut in ways that resemble a natural process. Most of my pieces say what words can't say. I wanted to evoke feelings of joy. I want there to be a pleasing element to it that people get to see almost a continuum of time.
Although he seems at one with blue flame and hot metal, Steve's career as a sculptor is a recent byproduct of a social service commitment. In the 1980s, he joined his church in a cultural exchange program with the Tarahumara Indians of Mexico. To boost sales of Tarahumara drums, Steve began painting the drum heads. To his surprise, they became wildly popular. President Clinton bought one to add to his art collection. But Steve found making the scrap metal frameworks to hold the drums more exciting than painting them. He took a risk, and in 1995 began a full-time career as sculptor. His leap of faith paid off, and his redeemed objects can now be found at galleries across the U.S. However, Steve continues to aid the Tarahumara and frequently uses Tarahumara kickballs and gourds in the assemblies.
I work exclusively with mild steel as the basic structure, and then I like to add other materials. Most common, insignificant thing can be arranged in a way that there's a sense of reverence about it.
Borrowing as he does from different mediums, genres, and cultures, you could say that Stephen Dirks is truly postmodern. But with his focus on salvage and recycling, perhaps a kinder tag would borrow from the pop music term world beat and call his work world art.
Again, I salvage paint, and I do a lot of mixing, and so I'll go to Home Depot and get their mismatched paint, and I'll come up with any color that happens to show up. And then I'll try any technique you can think of, from rubbing sand in to give it a weathered look to brushing it off with a wire brush, any way to make it look a little more natural looking and like it's been patinaed as opposed to painted.
Redeeming the discards of technology for Stephen Dirks is often a joyful process, and occasionally a sacred experience.
Sometimes when I'm on my knees welding, I stop and pray. I just happen to be there, and it's a convenient way to do that. So it definitely nourishes my spirit in a fairly direct way. I certainly connect socially through my art, and I think I connect internally as well. You know, the days that I had a good day and things flowed and I produced well, I know that I can reach an almost ecstatic state.